Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another fast Descendant video. So attempt 2 of the Ines singular build. I had made this video a few days ago, but I had made a mistake with the third ability. I'm explaining how it works because I did not know it myself. So I wanted to redo this video and go over it properly. So first up, why the singular build and not the Time of the Hunting Hound setup that we have been using? Main reason is if you are used to the fourth ability, and spamming the fourth ability, they have increased the cooldown on it. She's still pretty good, and with minor adjustments, we can still use this comfortably. Like if you are using the second ability, the first ability, you can still do fine. Now, if you are someone who was just used to spamming this by putting maximum cooldown, bringing it down to 3 seconds, and then spamming it constantly and getting the speed boost and killing groups of enemies, then this may feel a little different. So for those of you, what we can do is we can drop the Time of the Hunting Hounds module. This will revert the first and third abilities back to singular types, singular archetype. And the third ability actually is a little different in the default form. So with this one, she crouches down, dashes, does pierce damage, and then at the end does explosive damage. Over here, she charges her hand and deals a lot of damage in front. And this is very, very strong. You can take out the elites at the end of 400% dungeons with one hit. Well, basically, you can put them in the immune state with one hit. So 13 million, 15 million, that kind of range. So this is the main use case for this build. So we'll be using 1 and 3 more often. You can still use the second and fourth comfortably. But yeah, with the increased cooldown, if you're not happy with this, then third ability is very handy. So the build is pretty much identical. What I have done is I have dropped the focus on tech for focus on singular. Now, a few people suggested other things here. You can try them out, but for the sake of simplicity, we are using exactly the same build. Instead of focus on tech, we are using focus on singular based on the reactor and the main ability that we're going to use. So that is the setup here. We have 2 range modes in the form of expansion and amplification, 1 HP mode, front lines. We have concentration, insight and concentration. We have focus on electric, nimble fingers, MP conversion. Okay, so what we are trying to do here is we have 100% crit rate. We have over 5 times crit damage. Cooldown is almost maxed out. 90 is maximum. We are at 87. Range is maxed at 2 times, and we're getting all the bounces and things like that. For the reactor, I'm using cooldown and crit damage. Okay, for the Stingling Singularity Reactor. For the external components, we have quite a few options here, depending on what you have, because farming these is a pain in the neck. So I would suggest go with what you have. So what you can do is you can use 2 pieces of plague set. So I'm using auxiliary power and memory from plague. What this does is it gives you tech, skill, and singular, which are both used by Ines and all her abilities. So that is handy. We'll get 5% more tech power or singular power. With the 2 pieces of Enlightened Mage, what we get is just flat 6% skill power increase. You can also use 2 pieces of Supernova. So Supernova will give you electric skill power modifier. Okay. You can also use 2 pieces of Hunter set, and this will give you 4% cooldown, which will take you to 90%, and you'll get the max cooldown. And if you have like a full proper 4-piece Slayer set, you can just go with that, because this will give you the best in terms of power. Her skill cost isn't particularly high, so you can just use this. And because I know most people would probably have a maxed out Slayer set, so you can use this, and the increase in cost isn't really a big deal. So yeah, depends on what you like. You can use that. I'm using these two, combination of these 2 sets simply to get a little more HP. That is it. And for defense, it might be low, but because of the inversion reinforcement perk, this one, crisis response, when you're picking up HP and MP orbs, you get 8.6% defense per stack, and you'll get 5 stacks. So your defense actually goes up quite a bit from here. And so we don't really need to add more defense. The rest of it, you can use whatever you like. Is not that important. Secret Garden in our hand is giving us a lot of speed increase with the 3 sprint cores. I'm up to 1264 over here. So again, the loss from the fourth ability and not getting the speed boost is hardly noticeable because we are very close to full speed normally as well. And also the Secret Garden will give you a tech skill power boost when you're using tech skills. So you can use that as well. So yeah, you'll get some benefit from there as well. Arche Tuning. So what we have is all the skill power, MP recovery, a bit of health here and there, big skill power here, cooldown here, crit damage here. So that's why we are getting up to over 5 times critical hit damage. So let's just quickly go over the ability just to show you how this works and where we were fumbling in the last video. So basically our first ability is the same as throwing the chain lightning, and this is faster and has more bounces. And as always, if there's only one enemy, it bounces between Ines and the enemy. If there are more than one enemy, it will bounce between them. So we have two enemies, you can see it bounces between. It also applies the conductor. This is the status on the enemy. You'll do more damage when the enemy has that status. Also keep in mind when you are using stuff, you'll be using this will also apply every now and then area burst inducer. Enemies will take more damage, and you also have various other perks running around. So if you are using, for example, the second ability, we just got pest control because it's a tech ability. So yeah, you'll get some increase in power and damage based on that. So now what we'll do is we'll look at the third ability, which was the issue. So basically with the third ability, what she does is she holds her hand and charges, and then if you release it at the right moment, she'll do the maximum damage. So the right moment here is when this happens. So let's do that again. So there'll be a spark and some sparks flying. You'll see a round sort of thing and three pink, lines of electricity like that. That is the peak. That is when you release it. Now you can release it quickly as well, and you still do plenty of damage. But in order to do the most damage, you hold it, wait, and then do this. I think I may have gone a little early that time as well. See, this time it was just very quick. So if we do this, and let's do this again, there, that is the peak. And there. Yeah, and there. So it's just a little bit of practice, and again, it's not that important, but that is how you get the peak damage out of this. So let's just put one Vulgus to make it look cleaner. Let's get the custom resource. So once again, and there. Okay, and there. Maybe we went a little longer than usual, and there. And there. Okay, so this will all depend on your mods and things like that. So basically, this is the Ines singular build. You can try it. It's pretty handy. It's also quite fun taking out elites and stuff with one hit of your third. Or you can just stick with the old setup. I'll just show you the old setup as well. So what I have over there is the reactors and components are, sorry, the external components are different. Of course, the reactor as well. So 2 pieces of Hunter, like I mentioned, this will increase the cooldown by 4%. 2 pieces of Supernova, this will give us 8.6% electric power. We will be a little lower on health, but it shouldn't be a problem. Reactor is same cooldown and crit damage on the stats on the options, and the reactor is tingling mechanics, electric and tech. Of course, over here we have the time of the hunting hounds, which makes everything electric and tech. Focus on tech here. That is the only difference, and Arche Tuning will stay the same. And yeah, so you shouldn't have too much of an issue if you can just use the second ability a little more instead of spamming the fourth constantly. So yeah, just use your fourth a little less and you'll be fine. Okay, so that is the Ines singular build. Hopefully this was useful. Thank you for watching as always. I just wanted to mix up and have different options for different Descendants. My Luna build is ready. However, I can't find the perfect reactor that I want. So it'll depend on when I get the reactor and if I have enough resources to max it out. Once I have that, I'll have a video. But yeah, Luna is pretty good as well. I'll maybe explore some other alternate builds for the other Descendants, the ones that are good, because quite a few of them have 4 or 5 different Transcendent mods that make things different. But in most cases, we tend to stick with one good build and one Transcendent mod. So we'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time.